Good morning, student. So in this lecture, we will understand the hierarchy of different levels of HVDC system controls. So you can see that the single line diagram of the different level of HVDC system control. So we start with this here. So here the box, this BC, that is nothing but a bridge control. PC, that is nothing but a pole control. So there are four different types of control: bridge control, pole control, master control and overall control in the HVDC system, whole hierarchy of the control systems. So one by one we see all these different controls. So you can see that here there are four bridges here. So one pole, there are two bridges. This is the one pole and this is the second pole, it means second line. So two pole is connected with two bridges are connected with the one pole. So it means it is a 12 pulse converters. So in many cases there are two bridges or four bridges are connected in series depending upon the multiples converter used in the HVDC systems. So here there are four bridges in two pole system. So it is a 12 pulse converter. So 12 pulse HVDC system. This is a control hierarchy, so that we understand here one by one each and every control. So bridge control you can see here. So this bridge control that determines the firing angle instance of the valves with the bridges and defines the alpha minimum and gamma minimum limits. So here you can see that the bridge control that gives a signal to these bridges that has the valves. So the signals is nothing but a firing angle, alpha or gamma limit here. So alpha minimum and gamma minimum, that is defined by these bridge control actions, and based on that signal is given to these bridges. So next is a pole control. So pole control that coordinates the control of bridges in the pole and the conversion of the current order to a firing angle order, tape changer control and certain protection sequence that are handled by this pole control sequence. So whatever the current order is given, whatever this protection system or tape changer control is given to this bridge control, that all the signal is given by this pole control actions. And this includes also the coordinations of startup, deblocking and balancing of the bridge controls. So by the pole control actions we can start this bridge, we can deblock this bridge, as well as we can provide the balancing of the bridge controls. Then after this pole control we have one is the master control. So master control that determines the current order and provides the coordinated current order signal to all these poles. So you can see that pole control that gives a signal to bridge control, both this bridge here. Another pole control, this gives the signal to this both this bridge control, and bridge control that gives the signal to this valves like firing angle control and gamma minimum controls. Then these signals from the master control that provided to this pole control through this telecommunications lines. So the master control function is what? To determine the current order and provides a coordinated current order signal to all these two poles, and interprets the broader demands for control in the HVDC system by providing the interface between the pole control and overall controls. So that master control is act as a bridge between pole control and this overall system controls. So the basic control functions are similar in most of the application in the HVDC system, but however the higher order level control functions that are determined by the specific performance objective of the individual system. So for the reliable operation of the HVDC system, each pole should function as independent as possible. So here this each pole control or each pole that is function as an independent control. It means that here whatever the master control signal is given to this pole control and pole control signal is given to this two bridge control, that are completely independent of the signal is given to this pole control and bridge control. So it means that each pole are individual. This pole means these two bridges and this line that makes one pole, and these two bridges with this line that makes the second pole. So each pole should function as independently as possible. So control and protection function should be segregated and implemented at the lowest possible level of the hierarchy in this type of the HVDC system. So I hope you understand this single line diagram of the different level of the HVDC system. I again repeat this. So bridge control, that provides the signal to the valve of this bridge like alpha minimum or gamma minimum. Then pole control, that coordinates the control of the bridges in the pole, and that converts the current order to a firing angle control. So current order signal is given to this pole control from the master control. Clear? So master control function is to determine the current order and provide the coordinated current order signal to all these poles. This pole number 1 and pole number 2. So there are 4 types of control: overall control, master control, pole control and bridge controls in the hierarchy of the different level systems. So one main control is overall system control, second is master control, then after pole control, then last one is the bridge controls. So let's understand in detail this master control. So this is a detailed control implementation, control diagram, basic control diagram of the whole HVDC system. So you can see here at this side there is a rectifier and this side is the inverters. So first we see the rectifier side, how this master control provides the control signal to the bridges through this pole. So here you can see that this highlighted part, this one, this is the master control. Master control signal, master control that provides the control like current orders, power order as well as the auxiliary signal control. So when the master control, suppose that provides the current order signals, so that this switch is connected with this current order, then this limits that provide the limit for the current order. So this current order is give to this summation block here, one current measured from this DC line, this is the actual current, and this is the current order generated by this master control. So whatever the difference between the current order given by this master control and actual current measured at the DC line, so that summation block that generates the error, this is called as a current error. So this current error is applied to this regulator here. Then second input to this regulator is the alpha error. So how to get the alpha error? So one alpha 0 reference is generated by the controller of the bridges. Then actual alpha that is measured from the system. So this is actual alpha. This alpha, actual alpha subtracted from this reference. So whatever the difference between these two, that nothing but the alpha error. So this alpha error signal is given to this regulator block. One signal is the current error. So both the alpha error as well as current error signal given to this regulator, and which generate the desired value of the alpha, so that we can maintain here the line current, DC line current is equal to the current order which is generated by this master control. Again repeated the master control function. So whenever the current order is given by this master control, so that generates the current order, limit is current order value and generates the I order. This I order is given to the summation block. Actual current is measured from the DC line, that is applied to the summation block. So whatever the difference between I order and actual current, that generates the current error, and this current error is given to this regulator. Then second input to this regulator is the alpha error. So alpha error is generated between the difference between the alpha 0 reference and actual alpha of these bridges. So both this error, alpha error and current error, that generates the desired value of alpha, so that we can get the actual current or desired current required at the DC line. Same thing happens here at the inverter side. So here current order signal generated by this master control, that is for the rectifier side. So as we know that in the characteristics of the inverter and rectifier characteristic, the current margin, there is a difference between the current order and current order of the rectifier and current order of the inverters. So as you can see in the VI characteristics of the HVDC system that we already discussed in the last lecture. Yes, you can see here. Yes. So here you can see that this is the current order limit for the rectifier. This is a constant current mode of the rectifier, and this is the constant current mode of the inverter. So the difference between this current order of inverter and rectifier, that is called as a current margin. So when the current order signal is given to the inverter, that signal is nothing but current signal given to the rectifier minus this current margin, so that we give the current order, we can generate the current order for this inverters. So the rectifier current order minus current margin, that is equal to the current order for the inverter. So that we have generated in this control circuit. So you can see this here. So here you can see that the current order of the rectifier, same, that is given to here in the summation block minus this current margin Im, so that output is nothing but the current margin for the, current order for the inverters. So that is given to this summation block here. And then another current is measured from the DC line at the inverter side. So whatever the difference between the current order of the inverter and actual current, that generates the current error signals. And same way the current error signal is given to this regulator, and second input is nothing but gamma error. So gamma error is generated from the reference gamma as well as actual gamma of this converters. So both this error is given to the regulator and generates the desired value of the gamma, so that we get the desired value of the current at the at the rectifier side, at the inverter side in the DC lines. So by this way this master control functions and provide the current order to the rectifier as well as to the inverters. So I hope you understand this detailed diagram of the master control, how they provide the controls. So here you can see that this current order, this current error is generated, and after that this regulator generates the desired value of the alpha. So this block is nothing but a pole control. So you can see here the function of the pole controls is the conversion of the current order to the fiery angle order as well as tape changer control. So here this regulator is nothing but the function of the pole control. Like in this single line diagram you can see that here this pole control PC that converts this current order signal which get from the master control into the fiery angle control or alpha angle control, and then this signal is given to this bridge control, and then bridge control they give signal to this bridges, so that we can get the desired value of the current at the DC line here. So this is the whole control system of the HVDC system, and you can see that the different control scheme and its function, we already discussed this overall control. So that function is power flow scheduling, AC system stabilization and communication between the both the terminal. Both the terminal means here this is the one terminal, second terminal is at the inverter side here. So that provide the communication between the rectifier terminal as well as inverter terminal. So you can see here the telecommunication line between this terminal and the remote terminals. Same way master control have a communication line between the master as well as pole control, so that whatever the current order is given, whatever the current order is generated by the master control, so that is given to this pole control through this telecommunications line, and then this current signal is generated and convert into the fiery angle control and then give to this bridge control. So the telecommunication line is also very important in the control of the HVDC system. So you can see here the description of this, what type of communication system is required here. There are several alternative transmission media is available for the telecommunication, like direct wire, via the private line or telephonic networks, power line carriers, microwave systems, optical fibers. So there are different communication line we can use in the HVDC system for the transmission of the signals from one terminal to the another terminal. So the choice of the telecommunication medium, that depends on the amount of information that is to be transmitted and required speed of the response. So we know that the optical fiber has transmit the large amount of the information with large speed. So if your requirement is that this high speed transmission of the data, then you can use the fiber optics. Then if it is not requirement to transmit at high speed, then you can use this microwave system as well as telephonic network as well as power line carrier. So depending upon the requirement, you can use any communications line. Another requirement that like degree of security and noise immunity. So if you require the high secure telecommunication line, so based on that you can use any of the high secure telecommunication systems. So this is the overall control system of the HVDC There are 4 control, again repeated: overall control, master control, pole control, and bridge or converter control units. So I hope you understand this topic. Next topic is the converter firing control scheme. So how we provide the firing control to the converters. So as we know that the converter firing system that decide the firing instant for the different control modes of the converters. We know that there are converter is operated in basically in 3 different control modes. One is CC, constant current. Second is CIA, constant ignition angle control, and third one is constant extinction angle control. So the firing angle of the converter that is decided based on the mode in which your converter is operated. So suppose your converter is operated in the constant current mode, so the firing angle alpha is different for the converter as compared to the converter if it is operated in the CIA mode, constant ignition angle control mode. So depending upon the mode in which your converter is operated, we decide the firing controls. So there are basically 2 types of control we use for the converter firing angle. So first is the individual pulse control. So in this control, the firing pulses are decided individually for each valve. Suppose in the 6 pulse converter there are 6 valves. So for all 6 valves there are individual firing pulse. So that is depending on the zero crossing of the commutation voltage. So when the commutation voltage crossed is zero crossing, after that we decide the firing pulse for this individual valve in this system. Then what is the advantage of this individual pulse control? So the advantage is that achieve the highest possible direct voltage under the unsymmetrical or distorted supply waveform. Suppose your supply waveform, AC waveform is unsymmetrical or distorted, at that time in this scheme you can get the highest possible direct voltage, because the firing angle is determined independently for each valve. Then what is the disadvantage of this individual pulse control? So disadvantage is that any deviation of the AC system voltage from its ideal waveform, that will lead to the asymmetry in the current waveform, and that introduce the characteristic harmonics. It means that generate the harmonic into the system. If your AC supply voltage is deviate from its ideal waveform, at that time that creates the problem, like they generate the harmonics. Second converter firing control system is equidistance pulse control. So in this scheme, valves are ignited at equal time intervals. Suppose one valve is ignited at 0 degree, so second valve is ignited at 60 degree, third valve ignited at the next 60 degree, means at 120 degree. So it means that valves are ignited at equal time interval or equal degree of interval, so that ignition angles are retarded or advanced equally. So the advantage of this equidistance pulse control system is that the results that the lower level of non-characteristic harmonics and stable control of the weak AC system. So whatever the disadvantage of this individual pulse control, that they generate the non-characteristics harmonics, that is solved by this equidistance pulse control. Means that provides a low value of lower order, or sorry, low value of a low level of non-characteristics harmonics, and they provide the stable control if your AC system is weak. But that is not possible in this individual pulse control. When your AC system becomes weak, that not provide the stable control. The one disadvantage of this control is if AC network is asymmetry is large, it results in low power and DC voltage at the DC side. So this is the one disadvantage of equidistance pulse control scheme. So I hope you understand this converter firing control scheme. Again repeated, that is decided based on the mode in which your converter is operated, like CC, constant current, constant ignition angle, and constant extinction angle control. Basically 2 types of control. One is individual pulse control, in which the firing pulses are decided individually for each valve, where equidistance pulse control, the valves are ignited at equal time interval or at equal degree interval for the ignition of the valves. So I hope you understand this topic. So if you have any doubt, you can ask during the doubt solving session or note down during this lecture. So thank you.